All right, and we are live. Hey, although I may look like Agent 47, my name is Jared O'Leary, and today I'm going to be warming up with some 16th note buzz grid variations. Get my hands going, then I'm going to stretch and massage, then I'll get back into a post warm up, and then I'm specifically going to work on some diddle crossovers, some permutations, or not permutations, rather, some timing exercises on the tenors, and then I'm going to switch over to drum kit, and I'm going to work on some different charts, doing some improvisation, or not improvisation. I can't speak today. Sorry. My brain is thinking about Elden Ring, which I'm going to play later on today. I'm going to do some independence work on the drum kit. So that's the plan for the day. Now, my goal with these streams is to share what it's like as somebody who has been practicing for over 20 years playing the drums and sharing all the stuff that I'm really not so great at. So this is not me practicing the things that I am able to do really well. This is me literally showing you stuff that I need to work on. So I'm going to narrate out loud the things that I'm trying to improve and how I'm trying to work on that. And hopefully that'll give you some tips and some ideas for how you can improve your own playing and whatnot. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to start off with some exercises, which you can actually find here. So let me post this in the chat. Okay. So if you're watching this live on Twitch, it is found right there in the link. This is on my website. There's a bunch of different exercises and whatnot that you're going to go to that you can work on. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, you can actually find this using the links in the description. So quick way to get to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to specifically warm up. And in the past, I have demonstrated how I would warm up with like the SCV Schlitz and Giggles exercise. And so that's a great way to do some buzzes and then some single, just like isolated strokes, and then some rolls and diddles and whatnot. But I want to show you how you can actually like warm up similarly using just buzzes. And so one way you can do it is you can actually go onto here and do buzzes just on everything, or you can actually go back to the normal variation right here and just do like the sticking variation of just the stock pattern. So that's what I'm going to do, just so it's not nonstop buzzing sounds in my ear. And let me make this bigger for you. And because I want to warm up, I'm going to speed this up. So I'm going to go into the description and scroll down, and I'm going to start off at 140. Increase the volume. Whoops. Okay, so I opened up my buzzes a little bit towards the end there, so it's less of a crush. Whoops. I ended early on that. All right. Now let's actually speed this up. So we're going to go to 150. So I'm going to do 150 to 154, and then I'm going to do stretch and massage routine, and then I'm going to come back to here and do 155 to 160, just kind of as a post warm up. Ooh, tummy noise. It's grumbly. Ready, set, go. Cool. Yeah, so buzzes are a great way to get the blood flowing in your hands. So I highly recommend doing this. I was thinking about something else, and I got off. All right, last rep before the massage. Okay. Woo! Yeah, so buzzes are a great way to get the blood flowing in your arms and whatnot, to get everything nice and relaxed. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch and massage. It's very important to keep your hands nice and healthy, otherwise you're not going to be able to drum. So I'm going to start with palms up, sticks in my hand, and I'm going to pull one arm in, and then follow with the other, and oh yeah. That's a good stretch. Feeling it in the forearms. Feels great. In case you were wondering. Now you know. Okay. So now to get out of this, you just go back the way that you came. If you're working on traditional grip, you can rotate and kind of hold in both those positions to help you relax. I'm not doing traditional. Okay. So I'm going to now stretch my tendons. So what I'm going to do is just kind of do both at the same time. You could do one arm at a time, but I'm going to put them on the pad and not press too hard on it because you don't want to like tear anything. Give you a nice view of the top of my head. Let's see if we can see my scar. Yeah, right there. See that? So when I was a kid, I went camping and this other kid took a horseshoe and threw it really high in the air. And you can see where it landed on my head. Almost died. So, story time with Jared. Okay, so now that we've stretched the underside of the arm, let's stretch the top side of the forearm. So you just flip it the other direction. A good stretch for the top side of the forearms. Okay. Close. This computer's being weird. Okay, cool. All right, so now I'm going to stretch each one of my fingers individually. So doing the thumbs at the same time, and then you can also stretch the fingers at the same time. By the way, the shirt that I'm wearing says Grinding for XP. Gonna be playing some Elden Ring later. And then Fortnite with a friend tonight. I'm gonna be grinding for a lot of XP. Right now we're grinding for XP in the drums. All right, so now that we stretch, we want to massage to just like further really loosen things up. So you use your thumb and your fingers to massage the underside and the top side of the forearm, just to really get nice and relaxed. Received a text message. Oof. Okay. Now I'll massage the other forearm. Let's see. You're being low. Sorry, give me one moment. See if this fixes it. There we go. Okay. So after you've massaged the forearm, then what I like to do is massage the hands. So I'm massaging the palm. Just try and get everything nice and relaxed. And then massage each one of the fingers. When you're doing the fingers, start at the base and then move your way to the tip. Massage it like 2 or 3 times, just kind of going through like that. You do that for each one of your fingers and your thumb. Sometimes you need to do 3 or 4 times. Sometimes just 1 or 2. So that's what I'm doing with my hands. Just trying to get everything nice and relaxed. Switch back to this view. I love having this foot pedal. It makes it so much easier to switch back and forth. So if I'm like, oh, now let's look at the sheet music. Oh, now let's look at me. Sheet music, me. I just wish there was a third one because I have to press my keyboard right here in order to get it to do this view. But it is what it is. All right. Now that I've massaged the hands, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the exercise. And again, I'm just going to put buzzes on everything to just further get my hands warmed up. And then I'm going to work on some tenor crossovers, working on some diddle timing and some 5-stroke timing. All right, so let's switch views here. And let's pick up where we left off. Not bad. Cool. Man, this is quite the chop exercise, surprisingly. Whew! All right, last time. Bad attack. Ugh, no. I can't end that way. Bad attack, bad accents. Okay, let's try it one more time. Woo-wee! All right, let's go ahead and stop that. Okay, so that was a good warm-up. Now I'm going to go back, oh, too far, to the chops and technique page on my website. And I'm going to go down to technique right here. And I'm going to work on diddle timing. Uh-oh, let's make it 1080p. Let's make a full screen. We'll scroll down to the description and let's start slow-ish. We won't go all the way down to 40. I've done that in other videos. We'll start at 60. And these. Got my tenor sticks out. And I'm going to do every accent on drum 3. Every tap on drum 1. I want to make sure I don't overemphasize the accents. And this is a stick over stick accent, as opposed to wrist over wrist, which I shall show you in a little bit. Oops. I forgot what pattern was coming up next. I wasn't looking at the music. Okay. So now I'm going to jump ahead 5 clicks. And... oof. Mouse does not work good on that. Use this other one. Okay, let's see if that works better. Okay, so now I'm going to do accents on 2. And we'll keep the taps on 1. Okay, so far it's actually pretty good. Everything feels comfortable, which is great. Okay, so we're gonna go 5 more clicks up, so we'll go to 70. But this time, what I'm gonna do is put all of the taps on 2 and all the accents on 3. So this is gonna be a wrist over wrist crossover. So instead of stick over stick like this, it's going to be the wrist over. Now, while doing these crossover variations, you certainly could do what I'm doing, where I'm doing an entire run through, where it's all on 2 different drums. Or you could do every line different, every measure different, or just improvise as you're going to work on the different crossover variations. I'm doing them all the way through so I can really improve and focus on one type of crossover. Cool. So now I'm going to go to 75. And I'm going to flip it so it's on drum 4 and drum 1. And hopefully I don't hit anything. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Woo! Didn't go far enough. okay, not great. So I'm actually going to do this again, but I was quiet there because mentally I was having a debate with myself about what I was thinking of doing with the amount of shorts that I'm now going to put out. Instead of doing 2 drum ones and 2 gaming ones, I'm going to do like 1 of each almost each day. So that's where my brain was. So that's probably why I was hitting some rim and whatnot. So let's try this again. We're just going to go 1 click faster, and we'll see how it goes. I'm so afraid of hitting this microphone. I think I'll be alright. Haven't done it yet. Notice my right hand taps are slightly higher than my left, especially after an accent on the right, like that one. So that's what I was working on. Cool. Not bad. Let's speed her up some more. Let's go to 80. I have my dogs barking. I don't know if you heard that or not. Okay, here we go. 80, and I'm going to switch back to stick over stick. Cool. Let's go to 85. This is actually going a lot better than it was when I was previously working this up, so this is a good sign. I'm going to keep working on these different variations, going from stick over stick on both hands, then wrist over wrist on both hands. And I'm picking the 5 click intervals. It gives me time to talk in between. Otherwise, it goes straight into a count off. A little slurred out. Right hand's a little high. A little late. Okay, got better until that last click. Cool. Let's go 5 clicks faster. We'll do wrist over wrist. Hopefully the speed that I'm playing at right now is also something that you're comfortable with. If not, check out the link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube, or check out the link that I shared in the chat on Twitch. Play it at your own speed. All right, so I was a little inconsistent with the right hand in terms of where I was placing it on the drum 3. So that's what I was trying to focus on while doing that. So, wait, what speed am I at? 90. Let's go 95, and let's do this. I can't count today either, apparently. It's one of those days. Ooh. You could also do drum 4 and 3. But that's overkill. Trying to make sure the accents are the same. There's a tendency for the crossover hand to be too light. Whoops, extra diddle. So I'm focusing on making it not too light like that. I want it consistent. So there's a tendency whenever you're doing the crossovers, like playing, to have the crossover hand accent being too quiet. Let me rephrase this. So there's a tendency whenever you're playing these diddle timing exercises to have the accent taps sound different on drum 1 than when you're splitting it. So when you're playing crossover, this crossover hand has a tendency to be too soft. So it tends to go like this. So it sounds like if you're to play it on one drum. Another tendency that tends to happen is there is an emphasis on the note after the accent that is crossing over. So for example, it would sound like this. So this kind of like a decrescendo at the left hand with that note right there. So when you're doing this crossover, focus on nice, even taps. And then one way you can do that is just extending this. So you can focus on the taps more instead of having to focus switching back and forth between the taps and the accents too quickly. So those are some 2 tips that you can do when working on diddle timing and doing the crossovers on tenors. You're welcome. Okay, let's try this faster. We're gonna do drop in the stick and switch into back on my website. One of those days. I'm gonna blame it on not a good amount of sleep the last couple of nights. Got like 4 hours 3 nights ago, 6 hours, and then 6 hours. So I'm tired. But whenever you're performing, you don't always get to, get the amount of sleep you need. So wake up, Jared. Those were a little better. The first one was not. It's a little slurred out. I almost did the tap drags. So one of the problems that I have when I'm streaming is because I'm practicing, I'm trying to improve some things, but I'm also trying to be informative or entertaining, or like a combination of the two. And so while I'm focusing on one of those 2 things, like, oh, what am I going to say next? Or what am I going to play next? It then will mess up my playing. So the joys of, sharing yourself, practicing while you stream. But I'm learning. I'm getting better at it, slowly. Let's do wrist over wrist. Ooh, hit the top of my hand. Don't want to do that. That hurts. let's go to 110, and we're gonna do all on drum 4 for the accents. If I were gonna spend more time on this, I'd go slower. Instead of going 5 clicks at a time, I might do 2 or 3. And start at a slower speed. Alrighty. Okay, so you may have noticed that I restarted what I was saying earlier, and the reason why is because I'm taking a lot of these clips and I'm using them to share as shorts on social media to show, like, hey, here are some of the resources. Hey, here are some things that I know that might help you. So I was doing a second take, basically. I was afraid I was gonna hit my foot. Okay. Let's do 120. Again, grinding for XP. This isn't always entertaining when you're sitting there working on one thing over and over. Crushed. Cool. 125. Boop. Whoops. Starting to lose the comfort. Doesn't feel as easy. Okay. Yeah, so it's starting to feel like I have to put a whole lot more effort into making sure that everything sounds the way that I want it to. So this is definitely starting to push. This thumb button, man, just keeps messing me up. It's definitely starting to push my abilities right meow with this particular exercise. We're going to try and find the breaking point, though. That'll let me know what I can work on for next time. Ah. Wasn't getting far enough. All right. Let's try 135. Yeah, those wrist over wrists, that might be like when it gets to the next set of that, that's probably going to be at the breaking point for it. Got a diddle. All right, right hand crossovers. Little crush, little late. Slurred it, crush that. Yeah, so all these things that I'm narrating out loud, like what I'm hearing when I'm messing up, those are things that if you're on a line, you should be focusing on and going, okay, next time I play through this, I'm going to focus on this. And it doesn't necessarily mean like the next full rep of it. It could mean like the next time I play through this particular rudiment. So next time I do this right hand diddle or this left-handed flam drag or whatever, then you really focus on that while you're playing. That will help you improve, and it will make it so that you don't have to be reliant upon like an instructor coming by and be like, hey, your blah, blah, blah needs fixing by going blah, blah, blah. Or like, hey, this diddle, you could not slur that out. So if you are actively listening for that, that can help with your own playing, and it will help the line as a whole. Okay, I need some water real quick. So what I'm going to do now is intentionally go to a good breaking point for me. So like 20 clicks faster. I'm going to do left-hand crossovers. So drums 1 and 3. So give me data. So I just intentionally played that faster than I'm comfortable with. And so what that told me while doing that is that my left hand, when I start to get faster, it was having a tendency to hit this stick because it was moving too far over here rather than up and out of the way. And so that was affecting my tap because this was then making this too low. I was also noticing when I was doing this that my taps were inconsistent and a little bit slurred out when I did the paradiddles right here. Again, likely because the left hand wasn't moving enough over this way to get out of the way of this particular stick, etc. Okay, so those are some of the things that I noticed when playing it fast, and now that gives me data for what I can do to improve my playing, and by slowing it back down again and working on that. However, I am instead going to do the same idea, but with a different set of exercises. So this time I am intentionally going back to my website. So I'm going to go to Technique. Whoops. And we're going to go to 5-stroke roll timing. And I'm going to start slow again. And I'm not going to go all the way down to the speed that I was before, but we're going to go 80. So this is the 5-stroke variant. And I'm going to reverse everything. So I'm going to start over here. Hit my microphone. Woo! Got my foot out of the way. Whew. Ah! Didn't get it out of the way in time for that one. Oh boy. So, that rep was perfect. There were no flaws in there whatsoever. Yeah. I'm going to blame that on hitting the stick and being too relaxed with it. All right, so now I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to do here. So left-hand crossovers. Whoops. Messed up the sticking. I just tried to do a roll. Yeah. So what I tried to do was a roll there. But I need to think of diddle puttada. Diddle puttada, diddle puttada, diddle puttada, diddle puttada. Okay. Cool. Let's do wrist over wrist now. And we go to 90. Itchy nose. Back is sore. Don't know why. Almost lost my stick there. Saved by the back fingers. It's kind of annoying seeing like this vibrate the mouse, and so it just keeps moving this just a little bit. So it keeps bringing up the title and whatnot. 95, here we go. Maybe if I put it on the chair, it'll be a little bit better. All right. Right hand crossovers. On drum 4. Taps on 1. Okay, well, I smell a dog fart, which is interesting because the dogs are in the other room. So that tells me that either their tummies are really messed up, or maybe they had an accident on the carpet. So, yeah, I'm gonna check that real quick. I'll be right back. All three of them are laying right outside of the door. Like, literally, one of them's right up against it, and the other two are right next to them. So they're just farting into the door crack, apparently. So that's why I can smell it so potently. Anyways, in case you're wondering, I should light some incense after the close of this particular stream. All right, so we're going to do this again. But I'm going to do stick over stick and try and not drop my stick. Played the wrong pattern. Just too busy focusing on the head placement. Alright, so while I was playing through this, what I was focusing on was specifically where it was hitting on the drum head, and then what was happening with the hand that was underneath while doing this. So when you're playing, you want to make sure that your accents aren't all of a sudden making this hand move on the taps. Yes, you could move it out of the way if you need to, but we don't want to. What we don't want to do is like all of a sudden when we let me do this again. Getting blurry. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to make it so that when we're playing accents like this, all of a sudden when we move over, that this hand that's underneath just like wobbles out of the way. Okay, so we want to keep it in the same spot. So when I was looking onto the side and whatnot, that's what I was looking for, was specifically the placements along here, and then to make sure that my wrist wasn't moving the stick. Okay. All right, let's try this faster. Let's get some more data. Okay, looking at the timing, so I'm gonna go 10 clicks. Because I want to make sure that I spend a good amount of time on independence work. Pattern was I playing? The first one. Yeah, so other than dropping my sticks, the majority of my sticks are mental today. And the reason why is because I'm tired. So it's causing my brain to not be able to focus as much as I normally would while practicing. And that is making it so that I'm like thinking of what I'm going to say next, what I'm going to do next, what I'm going to do later on tonight, etc. And so all of those little thoughts that are kind of invading my brain right now are impacting my playing and making it so that I'm just forgetting what's coming next because I'm not focusing specifically on the music or my technique or chops or whatever. So that's what's going on with my playing today. Frustrated. What it's telling me is make sure I get to bed on time tonight. Okay, so that is what it is. Let me actually switch back. To my heavy sticks, the Hardeman hammers. And let's chop out with something. So I'm going to go back to the website. Too far. Drumming, chops and technique. Apparently it's being slow right now. And I'll play through something right here. Do I want to do a grid? I didn't actually plan this part of it out. I don't think. Nope. I should have written it down. I was just thinking, well, maybe I'll do a flam drag on the accents on 16th notes, but nah, that doesn't sound like fun. I want to play something that I really enjoy doing, so I'm gonna do. Let's do flam 5 after an accent triplet grid. That was a weird one. It's fun though. Where is it? Flam 5 after an accent. And so in these chop out sections, what I'm trying to do is actively find where I'm able to not play anymore because my hands or my brain just can't think fast enough. And this gives me information for what I can work on for next time. But it also just helps me improve my playing. Whoops. So what happened there is I was trying to just keep it on 2. All right, let's speed this up. Let's really find the breaking point. Already a little on shaky ground. Yeah, so I want to make sure that I am not raising up my taps too much. So that's what I was focusing on while I was playing through that. So there's a tendency, especially among like tenor players, to play the taps way too high. And so like everything just is like 9 and 7 for their heights. And I don't want that. I want distinct heights. Okay. Cool. Let's go even faster. 150. It's actually a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. Let's try 160. This is probably my breaking point. Because my left hand already is like, please stop it. Go play drum kit. Yeah, that was more mental than it was a physical thing in terms of the little hiccup that I had. So let's try even faster. Let's try 170. This is definitely going to physically just break my hands. Here we go. For funsies. Trying to chop out. Okay, computer, I admit defeat for today. Not able to do 170, but that's all right. 160 sounded pretty good for the speed. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to transition over to drum kits. All right, so I am back on my website, and I'm going up to the drumming content and going to drum kit independence and charts. And I'm going to be working on some of the charts that are down here towards the bottom part. And I'm going to read through them and just kind of work on some different independence patterns. I did not get a practice between like the last time I streamed and today, so we'll see if it's regressed. It likely has a little bit, so I might need to warm up a bit on these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through these charts, and I'm going to alternate between two different patterns. So I'm going to do this at 110 for my speed. And so I put this up and go to 110. So what I'm going to do on the short notes is I'm going to either play alternating triplets with 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, and on the long notes, I will then do woo. That's one pattern. I'll do that for like a whole line. But then the next line, I will do the short notes all on one hand, the right hand, and all the long notes on the right. Etc. Okay, so that's the plan. Click. Here we go. Alternating between those every line or every 4 bars. Head's about to break. This one's okay. The other one is starting to chip. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, here I go. Forgot what I was doing. Yeah, so I got off on the wrong hand right there, and then it just completely messed me up for that whole last line. That's why I'm doing this slow, and why I am practicing. You're just gonna see all the mistakes. All the things I wouldn't do in a live performance. Not that I wouldn't make a mistake, but that I wouldn't play stuff I'm not comfortable with. Honestly, I think it's too similar of patterns, so what I'm actually going to do is make it so I'm playing the ride pattern and short and long on the snare and bass, while I then alternate to the alternating triplet pattern. Okay, so I'm switching up what I'm going to work on. it's that transition that's weird. So I'm glad I'm working on that one. It's interesting, I can't actually hear these snares in my headset, but I can see the E8010 is working. Itchy nose again. Alright, last chart, and then I'm gonna go to the next set. I forgot to switch. That was not great. That's okay. That's why I'm practicing this. So now what I'm going to do is the same thing, and I'm going to do charts 6 through 10. And then the next set of charts, 11 through 15, is even more difficult because it adds in some tenuto. Let's try and make it so that I can get into a flow state more by actually pushing beyond what I'm currently doing, because it's making my mind wander. So this will force me to play with a little bit more focus, or it's just going to be a complete train wreck. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... So far, okay. Better than I thought it would be. I was getting off on the ride pattern. I flipped it to the wrong part. It's off by a beat. Little foot hiccup. 1, 2, ready, and... One, two, here we go. Alright, I was able to recover. That's good. I didn't think I would. Yeah, so I'm happy with that recovery. That was good. Needed to be able to do that. A 1, 2, ready, and... Okay, I recovered. That took a lot longer. Yeah, so when doing two charts ago, I had a mistake and I was able to recover by the end of the line. But then that last chart that I was just doing, it took me like 2 entire lines before I was able to recover. Now, I could beat myself up over that and go, oh, wow, that was really bad. Like, you should slow it down, etc. But the positive is I was able to get back into it and was able to finish much stronger than what was going on when I was making the mistakes. So try and focus on those positives and remind yourself that you're here to practice. You're not here to play perfectly. So because I'm working on stuff that I'm not good at right now, I'm going to mess up. It's going to happen. But the fact that I'm able to keep going and learn from those mistakes is the key. That's the thing to focus on. That's the positive aspect of this. So now I'm going to do this with the next set of charts, which is harder. And so this set of charts has tenuto markings. And the tenuto markings make it so that you play the longs on what would normally be a short. I'm going to attempt it at 120, which was like my breaking point previously. And I'm going to do this while alternating. So this is really going to require me to focus. 1, 2, here we go. A 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... not bad. It is requiring me to think a whole lot more. Switching between these two. It's the transitions in particular that's really difficult. A one, a two, a 1, 2, ready, and... Oh, messed up. I got off the third measure. No, the second measure at the end. Third measure. Right before that last paradiddle part. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, here we go. So I messed up there because I was focusing on my hi-hat, and I was like, wait, is it on 1 and 3? And I couldn't tell, and then that just made me mess up the entire last line. Whoops. 1, 2, ready, and... That went better than I thought it would. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... Whoops. Okay, so that went pretty good, all things considered. So that was one that was really giving me some trouble. So I previously, when I played that like a month ago and went through it, it was terrible. The alternating part in particular, that one was just not very good. So having reviewed those videos, it's significantly better than it was a month ago. So that's fantastic. Happy with that. Progress has been made. Okay, so I'm going to do some different charts. So... going back. I'm going to do the one that was like really messing with my brain. I'm going to try and like get that out of the way and then end with some fun ones. So I'm going to do a quick warm-up for it. So I'm going to do swung 8th note patterns. Cool. Nice add. All right. So let's do 120. So what I'm going to do is 3/4 pattern with the feet, 4/4 pattern with the hand, and read through the parts with the left on the snare. 1, 2, ready, and... Okay, so poorly demonstrated, but what I'm doing is I'm playing with my feet. I'm going to do 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 3/4 time. With my hands, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then it finally lines up again between the feet and the hands. And then with the snare drum, I'm going to be reading the pattern that you see on here. 2, ready, and... That one's... I have a word for that, but it's not family friendly. Difficult. Let's go with that word. Okay, so now I'm going to read through the patterns, and I'm going to read through... Yeah, let's just do 1 through 5. And let's speed it up a little bit. Let's see how that goes. So let's do 130. Just for funsies. 1, 2, here we go. This first one in particular, oh, it's hard. It just messes with my brain. A 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... Okay, little mess up at the beginning with the feet, but otherwise better than I thought it was going to be. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Hi-hat's getting a little loose. Adjust it real quick. One, two, a 1, 2, ready, and oops. Added extra hi-hat. Technically, this is 5-way independence when I'm talking. 3/4 with the feet. Ride in 4/4. Reading patterns poorly and trying to speak. So that's technically 5-way independence right there. And a weird one too, because we got multiple meters. 1, 2, a 1, 2, ready, and whew, this is really making me focus. I like it. 1, a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and ah, 4. Whew! Better than I thought. Good job, Jared. I need some water. So later today, I'm going to play Elden Ring for the first time. And then tonight, I'll play Fortnite with friends. They jump on. But I really look forward to playing Elden Ring because it came out yesterday, I think. Maybe the day before. But I haven't played it yet, and I'm super excited. But I'm also like, hey, I need to improve my drumming. Can't just do the things that are fun. Also got to do the things that you got to work on. So here I am, grinding. Grinding for XP. You can't really see it. That's what it says. Grinding for XP. Yeah. I'm here for the grind. Later, I'll grind for XP on Elden Ring. Okay. I think I'm jazzed out for right now. I'm going to switch between the 2 different rock ones that I was doing previously. So, one of them is... And then... Wow, this snare sounds terrible. The headphones on, I couldn't hear how bad it was. Okay, so... And then you read. So I'll do that for a line. And then the other one is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have offbeat on the hi-hat. We have the on beats on the ride. And 2 and 4 on snare. while you read the part with the bass. Now, last time I did this, I had to warm up with that one to just get comfortable with it before I could do the switching back and forth between the two. So let's see if I can just jump right into it. I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, this is new for me. We'll find out. Okay. And I forget what speed I played it at. Let's try 100. And we'll just jump right in. Maybe I'll go faster. And 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... Already messed up. Recovered. Not triggering the snare. Okay, so the fact that the snare is not triggering when I do this, I just don't get why that pattern, but then I switch over to here and it sounds... I must be hitting like right on a dead zone or something. Because it's consistently when I do that. Like this will sound fine when... Yeah, see? And then it stops. All right, so if you're watching this on YouTube, I just cut a good chunk of this where I was trying to fix the placement of the EAD10, so you'll notice that they have now moved to different locations on my setup and over here. So hopefully that'll help out with the audio issues that I was having. So let's try this again. We're going to do charts 1. I wanted to go back. I didn't want to change volume. That's weird. We're going to charts 1 through 5 again, and we're going to attempt it, hopefully, with full audio for myself. And for you. So this is the pattern I'm going to go with, alternating between these two. 2, 1, 2, here I go. Already messed up. It was the foot that messed me up. I put it on the beat. Okay, a step back from where it was previously. At least that's how it feels to me. But I'm able to get through it. So, I guess that's a win. Better than not being able to get through it, right? That was a much better transition. Didn't want it to be too tight, or that messes it up as well. 2, 1, 2, here I go. Recover. Come on. Back on it. Good. And 1. Trying to lock this pattern in. 1, 2, here I go. Extra bass drum. I tried to switch measures. I tried to switch patterns midway through that line. I don't know why my brain did that. I'll blame it on being tired. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna have to do the next set of charts because this does not feel comfortable yet. Definitely a step back. A 1, 2, ready, and. All right, my brain. We'll see how I do with Elden Ring, if this is how my brain is acting up right now. That's why you need to focus on the things that are hardest first. So I start with the drum streams, so that way I can really focus my brain on this, or at least attempt to when I'm tired. And then I do the fun gaming stuff later on in the evening when it's not as like high stakes in terms of like wanting to really improve and get better and whatnot. Not that I'm not trying to get better at gaming. Yeah, anyways, you know what I mean. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Post it in the chat if you don't understand me. Okay, let's try this again. I'm going to push my brain some more and do that by going a little bit faster. And then I'm going to do some samba. Woo! If my foot will work. Two, 1, 2, ready, and. Getting a little bit better, a little more focused towards the end there. One, two, ready, and that's out of bass drum. Starting to get a lot more comfortable. Despite like missing a bass drum here and there, it feels a whole lot easier transitioning between them. And I say that now, and then we'll probably just completely butcher this one, or butcher that, as I'm in the middle of talking about it. 1, 2, here we go. Yeah, recovered. Ah. Recovered. That was a weird one. Really messed with me. I spoke too soon about it feeling comfortable. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. At least I recovered. I think that's like the 4th time that I dropped it just in this stream. Relax technique, folks. Ready, and okay. I'm going to read through Samba. And hopefully this goes well with my brain. We'll find out. So I'm going to read through it at 160. Straight 1 through 4. My foot's a little slow today. So I figure 160 is comfortable. I'm going to read through the patterns unison with the hands. Started with a bayonne. That's not a samba. This is a samba. 1, 2, ready, and... Started to get more comfortable towards the end. A 1, a 2, here we go. My foot's a bit inconsistent with its timing on the bass drum. I'm trying to focus on that. 1, 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... See how my foot slowed down at the end there? Slurred out. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, ready, and... All right. So, yeah, my brain is mush right now. Cool. If you watch this live, thanks for bearing with me with all this, like, rearranging and whatnot. If you watch this after the fact on YouTube, I cut out a good chunk of this. This has been over 2 hours that I've streamed, but I had to fix some stuff on here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send the couple of people over to somebody else's channel and raid their stuff. But I need to find somebody who's making music. So let me browse real quick. We're going to go to music. Let's find somebody who's playing on the drums. Okay. Yeah, let's check out this person's. Oh, they got a little ad right here. All right, so I'm going to put them right here. Paste. And it just started another ad. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to rate this person's channel. Cool. So they are playing along to music right now, and it looks like you might be able to do some requests. So I hope you enjoy checking out their channel, and make sure to give them a follow and whatnot, so that way you can support other fellow musicians on Twitch. But anyways, I will now press the raid button, and hope you all have a good rest of your day. Starting raid. Oh, 10 seconds. Twiddle our thumbs until it actually starts. Cool. Catch you all later. Hope you have a great day.